Okay, so welcome back. This is going to be the last little bit of video to make this Pong game all work. What we want to do in this one is just a little bit of tidying up. So at the moment, we have a bit of a problem in that, if I click on the ball script, that when we click the green flag, the ball will automatically go to the middle, wait a second, and then start moving around. But the problem is, if I have the start button in the middle of the screen, I could be sitting there with that start button for many seconds before I click it. And in the background, the ball is moving. So we kind of need to make that stop. We need the ball to wait until we've clicked the start button. So if you remember, back in events, there was a when I receive start. That's kind of what we're going to need to do, is grab all of that code and put it there. This guy, we don't need that anymore. So what we're saying is that when I receive start, now I will do all these things. And we can just give that a quick check by hitting start. And sure enough, there it is waiting, ready for us to go. The other thing you'll notice too is that in this video here, my red paddle, I've moved over a fair bit. And you'll notice that the gap now is very, very, very thin. To do that, if you wish, this is very much if you wish, if I just quickly put this back to the way it was, is just getting that back to the way it was. Over in motion, if I bring my paddle to the top, so I'm going to press the A key and get it to the top, but I'm going to move it over to get that very small gap in there. And you'll notice that this glide coordinates have changed. It's pretty much redoing what we did before. I'm going to get rid of that bit of code and bring in the new one. Then I'll drag it down to the bottom and get rid of the bottom bit of code and put in the new one. And check my X coordinates, 207, 208, just make sure they are the same. 207. It doesn't matter which one it is. I don't need these anymore. Same with the green. So I'll bring it to the top. I can get rid of that bit of code, get rid of that bit of code, move it over. So there's only a slight gap, and that's for the up. And then bring it down to the bottom, and that's for the down. And just check the X coordinate, 227, 228, 227. So now my paddles are sitting slightly on top of what is the scoring panel behind. It doesn't matter that it's sitting on top of it, and the ball, look, the ball may still get caught in there somehow. It does happen, but that's just the nature of it. So that's pretty much it. I now have myself a functioning game of Pong. There are a couple of challenges that you might want to take on board. Things like when you get to a certain score, does something happen? Like, do the paddles get smaller? Does the ball get faster? And how can you do that? So, you know, you could sit here and have a bit of an experiment, but things like making something smaller, obviously under looks, you can change its size or set its size at 100%. And I can show you very quickly that if I set this to 50 and bring that in here, I might say, oh, hang on a sec, that's in the ball. When I receive start, I'm going to make my ball half the size. Just check it out, see what happens. Sure enough, there's the ball and it looks small. So you can have a little bit of a play around with it, but what one big challenge would be is to say, if you get to a certain point or a certain number of points in your score, does something happen to basically level up? It's a bit of a challenge, but if you're up for it, have a go. But in effect, you now have a working Pong game, which would be very good for you to hit the share button and share with your digital technologies teacher. I hope you've learnt something new and found it useful, and good luck.